Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We are at 11319 Southwest Churchill here in Wilsonville. We're located just to the right of the front doorway, and I describe everything as if you were standing out in the street facing back at the front of the home. So to the right of the doorway, it sits right behind the water shutoff here, this little concrete lid. You've got a 3-inch ABS cleanout. We're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Water is running. We're going to zero the foot counter out here at the base of the cleanout, and off we go. And the line transitions immediately upon access over to standard PVC pipe. Now, we did just go through an area there of some standing water, which we'll take a look at on the way out when the line is fully drained. We have a bathtub running full bore right now, which is going to exaggerate any areas of standing water quite significantly. And at some point there in the mix, the line swapped back over to ABS plastic, and now we're back to PVC again.
Which part is going? I should probably go.
Another spot here with some standing water. And just walking up to this home and approaching it with the way that the home sits down below street level, I would have predicted that we were going to see some level of it. It's, for whatever reason, this layout often results in that. And we just made a transition there to concrete pipe. Appears to be 4-inch diameter. And we should be hitting the main lateral here pretty soon. All right, and there's the main lateral connection at about 70 feet. Looks like we tie directly into the manhole out in the street. We'll go verify where the line terminates. We'll let the whole thing drain off here, and then we'll take a better look as we come back in. The line's still draining off right now, but I did locate the camera head successfully. The line terminates at the main out on Southwest Churchill. As you face the home from the road, the line ends up there's two manholes. One is to the, one or two houses over to the left of this home, and then there's another one that's about 1 or 2 houses to the right of the house. Yours is heading to the one that's down the street to the left. Right now there's actually paint markings that line up and kind of point back to this home. It's kind of easy to figure out, but the line heads over to that manhole there, in case you are curious. But we're going to let the line continue to drain here for a moment before we take a look at everything. Come on.
Yeah, a lot of things like that.
Oh, this There's still a little tiny bit of water trickling off here. None of the water we've gone past thus far, any of that is standing, but by the time we get back to where we do have standing water, we'll make sure the line is fully drained. Alrighty, all the concrete pipe drains off proper there, is clean, and it's in pretty nice condition. It's not ancient 1940s, 50s concrete anyway, so I wouldn't expect to see heavy wear, but it is held up nicely. And it's hard to see right on this turn here. It may just be the turn creating the illusion of it. We may be bumping out to 6-inch pipe right here. I don't get a good enough, straight enough view at that to guarantee it. Either way, there's no issues with the diameter of the pipe. It's one it's hard to verify visually with the camera. All right, so we're getting back here to this is the tail end of the furthest out area of standing water here at about 38 feet. Now, so far, pulling back through that spot there, that water line is down under 1/4 of an inch. You're somewhere around the 1/16 of an inch, between the 1/16 and 1/4 inch. My camera lens sits 1/4 inch off the bottom of the pipe, and that water line isn't even quite touching the base of my camera lens there. So as it relates to bellies, generally speaking, when I'm recommending repairs on bellies, I typically speaking, my breaking point is a 5-foot section of pipe with at least 1 inch of standing water that's static with no water running at all. That is where I tend to typically see regular old toilet paper hanging up in the line, not just improper items like wipes, things of that nature. So what you have there, not that it couldn't theoretically contribute to a blockage, but it would take a great deal of doing on the homeowner side to ever get it there. The one thing that will consistently hang up in any amount of standing water, it builds up anywhere in the line, but concentrates at standing water, is cooking oil, greases, fats in general. That's something you want to avoid putting down your line to begin with. But that's about the one thing that will hang up consistently in a small amount of water. And that belly there runs from about 34 feet to 38 feet. That one is too minor, in my opinion, to need repairs. Alright, so we're in a very, very small amount of water right now. My camera is currently upside down, so the water's at the top of the screen at the moment. So this standing water here, it tapers off to such a small amount, it's hard to see exactly where it ends. It's somewhere around 21 feet, 21, 22 feet. Like that stuff there you can see is still conveying. And just like the other belly, another very, very minor amount of standing water. I would only call this a belly by hyper technicality. It is very, very small. And this one's running here from around 18 feet. And the vast majority of it dissipates out by the time you're around 20, 21 feet. It tapers off beyond, I mean, it's so minor, it's hard to even tell where it stops. But 18 to 21 to 22 feet. And that one there is even smaller than the other one. That one I can tell you with certainty you're at a 1/16 of an inch and no more than that. Anyway, both bellies are too minor, in my opinion, to require repairs. The line is intact, nothing's broken. Now, if you're a home that puts a lot, like there is some grease buildup in the flow line, that's kind of that tan brownish stuff you see in the flow line there. So it wouldn't hurt to clean the line, but where the grease buildup is at in this line right now, it's quite minor. It's not anywhere near a point where it would go causing blockages on its own. It might merely cause something that's already going to block more stubbornly and be less likely to break loose on its own. But relative to the average home out here, it's actually quite a clean sewer line. All right, we are now going backwards into the home here. Everything from the clean out access to the main lateral connection, all of it is intact. You have good flow of the main lateral. At this rate, we are now back through the foundation wall. And that's the stuff I mostly focus on. It's the stuff that's buried underground. The pipe we're in right now is exposed plumbing. This is the kind of stuff the home inspector takes a look at when they're down there for leaks and things of that nature. This is stuff you can crawl right up to. We're going to go ahead and reel the camera out. No settling issues or anything going back to the foundation wall. My camera picked up a little gunk on the lens there, but had we run into standing water, it would have washed it off the screen, or the camera lens. Anyway, for the circumstances you have here, being that this line comes out below grade, even though it's not significantly, this combination of below grade, even if the main lateral is 20 feet deep, it almost always results in some level of settling. And generally, much more significant than this. Usually inches of standing water. What you have here is extremely minor.